What can someone do when they know there will be a lot of people who don't want them to? It is said that Rebecca Lamb and her husband JW are no longer bound by a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, that Joni Lamb and Daystar television network made them sign. This means that they can finally speak out. People say that the NDA kept them from talking about or recognizing the disturbing claims of a cover-up of sexual abuse involving baby Lamb, who is Jonathan and Susie Lamb's young daughter. Public worry and discussion have been sparked by Rebecca and JW's long silence. This is especially true since Rebecca is the daughter of Daystar's owners Marcus and Joni Lamb. Becky and JW were very worried about the abuse they said a family member named Pete was giving them, but they hadn't said anything about it yet. They can do what they want now that a big bill that could change Texas has been passed. This is a very important law that will change the way NDAs are used when a child is sexually abused. This bill sends a strong message. Victims and people who support them can no longer be legally forced to stay silent. All 149 members of the Texas House voted in favor of it. The goal of Trey's law is to stop people from abusing non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. This way, they can't be used to hide child abuse or stop justice from being done. Joshua and Susie Lamb have worked hard to get baby Lamb justice. The new law is a big step forward for them. It's also hard to believe that Joni Lamb and Daystar really did sign an NDA to keep Rebecca and JW quiet. According to Rebecca and JW, they say they were promised not to talk about what they know about baby Lamb's case. But Trey's law says the deal is no longer valid. The Daystar Network and Joni Lamb are said to have put a lot of pressure on Rebecca and JW to sign broad non-disclosure agreements, NDAs. These agreements were not just for business secrecy. Sources say that these NDAs made it clear that any information that wasn't already public was private. This includes worries about the company network and problems in the family. Part of this would be speaking out about the alleged abuse and the cover-up that followed. That's right, these weren't normal legal defenses. They were said to have been made to keep bad press and criticism from getting out, especially when they could hurt Daystar's reputation. People were told they couldn't say anything that could be seen as bad for the network or its leaders because of the NDAs. Some say that Rebecca's sister Rachel Lamb told Rebecca and JW that they could lose their house if they told anyone about the accusations against Pete. This is even worse. The couple was already under a lot of stress, and this threat made them afraid to speak out because it could cost them their home and money. That's the reason why Trey's law is so important. With everyone's support, the law was passed. This is a strong message that NDAs will no longer be used to protect abusers and keep victims quiet in child abuse cases. This could be the beginning of a new era for baby Lamb's case and many others that are being kept secret out of fear, worry, and stress. Trey's law basically says that these kinds of NDAs are not legal. This is especially true for the ones that Joni Lamb and Daystar Television Network are said to have used to keep Rebecca and JW from coming out. During the meeting about the bill in Congress, Mitch Little, a state representative from Texas, talked a lot about this big change in human rights. He said that Texas no longer sells silence. There were rumors that Rebecca Lamb and JW were forced to keep quiet by a non-disclosure agreement. They were known to support Jonathan and Susie in their fight for baby Lamb's justice. Susie remembers a few very sad times when Rebecca prayed with her and begged for baby Lamb's justice with all her heart. Rebecca did more than just expect the best. Susie says she told Marcus Lamb directly how upset she was that he seemed to care more about keeping Pete safe than doing the right thing. Marcus is said to have been told by Rebecca to do the right thing and hold Pete accountable for allegedly abusing baby Lamb. To give you more information, Jonathan told you that JW had written him a very angry letter about his worries. When Jonathan and Susie weren't around, JW saw Pete do some bad things that made him feel bad. It was said that Pete was hugging and kissing baby Lamb in a way that wasn't right, which was against the rules. JW and Rebecca were very upset about these things and thought something was seriously wrong. Because Rebecca and JW backed baby Lamb in the past, they are likely to go to court now that they are not bound by the NDA. Their first-hand accounts could be very important pieces of evidence that help build the case against Pete and get him punished. The things that Rebecca and JW said were added to by what Jonathan and Susie heard from baby Lamb. People she told her that when she was 5 years old, a man bigger than her father had raped her. She gave Susie a very detailed account of everything that took place. Even though she didn't say his name, Pete's close family ties and work at Daystar made it clear who he was. While they were out seeing Daystar, Susie saw that baby Lamb clearly got scared around Pete. It's likely that she was abused as a child because she would shake, hide under furniture, or be by herself. One of the scariest things that happened was that Jonathan caught Pete in baby Lamb's bedroom while she was naked. Jonathan and Susie told Marcus and Joni right away what was going on so that they could help. People say that Joni's response changed in a way that shocked and upset them. Even though she agreed with their plan to call the police, Joni is said to have told Susie not to. After that, Joni asked baby Lamb to meet her alone. After that meeting, something changed. The abuse was no longer talked about by baby Lamb. Joni is said to have then blamed the child, calling her unstable and saying that the child's behavior could have caused the fight. Jonathan and Susie called the police when they saw that Joni and Marcus weren't on their side. A real investigation was made because of that story. The Texas Colleyville Police Department reopened the case because the charges were so serious and there was so much evidence to support them. The investigation became more serious and organized because of this. The investigation is still going on, and as the investigators do their work, they may find out something new. If Trey's law is passed,
Pete could be in a lot of trouble with the law in Texas, especially since he has been accused of many things over and over again. Pete could get life in prison without the chance of parole if he is found guilty. This is one of the harshest sentences in state law. Texas has strict laws about crimes against kids. There is also Trey's law and Jessica's law, both of which were passed in 2007. This rule says that it is aggravated sexual assault to hurt a child younger than 5 years old. In Texas, this is one of the worst crimes you can do. For a first offense, the minimum sentence is 25 years in prison. There is zero tolerance in the state for crimes involving children, which is why this is the case. Someone who did something like what Baby Lamb did got 25 years in prison for one crime. Pete's case could get worse if more than one person says he abused them. Each event could be seen as a separate crime, which could mean that the person goes to jail for a much longer time overall. If Pete is found guilty of more than one count, he could spend up to 99 years in prison or even never get out. It is a capital felony in Texas to abuse a child sexually in a second offense. This is one of the worst charges that can be brought and is often thought to be worse than murder. The second time they are found guilty, they will be locked up for life without the chance of getting out. Pete is already in trouble with the law, and now Joni Lamb is also being charged with hiding the abuse, which is a very serious charge. If these actions are proven, they could have legal and moral effects. Along with being watched by the police, Joni could also have a lot of problems with how people in her community and in the wider public see her. Jess's law says that Pete could get a harsh sentence. This shows that Texas takes crimes against children very seriously and wants to hold criminals fully responsible. For too long, people would not say what they thought, and the truth was buried under power and influence. But Trey's law means that silence is no longer safe. Now Rebecca and JW can tell other people what they know. A strong truth comes to light because they are brave and honest. Baby Lamb isn't the only person, and after years of waiting, justice is finally here. How do you feel about Trey's law being passed and Rebecca and JW being able to speak out for Baby Lamb now? Write us and let us know. Write what you want to say in the box below. As Baby Lamb and his family continue to look for justice, remember them in your thoughts and prayers. Don't forget to like, share, and follow as always. See you at the next movie.